Join me again on Star Trek Resurgence. Please like and subscribe if you. Thank you for taking. Sorry, I got distracted. Thank you for taking the time out your day. Please like and subscribe if you get the chance. And let's get on with episode 2 of Star Trek Resurgence. In the previous episode, we basically disobeyed the captain. We didn't mean to, but he didn't have all the information, so I had to make a snap judgment. But now it seems like he's got an angry face. He does look like Omni-Man now, don't you think? Captain Solana, a furious Jara, defied his orders and did not blow the bolts on the docking clamps as instructed to do because that had to save the crew members. Lieutenant Baradizia was worried, but it seemed Jara was willing to follow orders from the starbase and disengage the docking clamps to the crew's risk, but she thought highly of Jara's efforts to explain the complexity of the situation to Captain Solana. And she believed that Jara defied Captain Solana's order and made her way at the... Yeah, but she's more like a fangirl. Commander Westbrook was worried, but it seemed Jara was willing to follow orders to starbase disengage the docking clamps when the crew was at risk, but he applauded Jared's efforts to explain the complexities until ultimately he was thankful when Jared defied Captain Solana's orders, made his own command decision. Commander was troubled when it seemed Jared was willing to follow the orders of the starbase by disengaging dock. God, none of them like that, did they? But it appreciated Jared's efforts to explain the complexity of the situation. Commander respects Jared's rational approach when she defied Captain Solana's orders. Lieutenant Commander Trevor did not approve of journalism with the protocol when she followed Captain Solana's orders to blow from the docking clamps. Enter Callagray was grateful. That's good. Let's go for Carter. Miranda felt warm reception when she was first arrived aboard the Resolute, holding out hope that there's some chemistry between them. Enzela was grateful when Carter put his safety ahead of hers. Lieutenant Commander Trevor found Carter to be cheeky and cavalier. Let's go. Let's get into it now. I was just reading on that.
I'm good. Help me with him. Let's get this off. Medical. Got one wounded at my location. Carter. You don't look so good.
God, look at that levitating
You gotta be
thing.
more careful. I just got here. I'm not ready to see you two get blown to space dust just yet. Now let's get you down to sickbay.
Great.
Captain's gonna tell me off. Look.
Status report.
The repair crew made it inside. EPS flow is back to nominal levels. The SIF is back up.
How does this affect mission readiness, Mr. Ermont?
Releasing the docking clamps using hull polarity minimized damage to the Resolute. We'll have some last-minute repairs to make, but if we reapportion some of the staff, we can make our departure on time. As of now, however, we are successfully moored to the station.
Good to hear. Send updates to my ready room. Commander Rydek, with me.
Oh, we're gonna get told off. We did what you had to do. You better say well done.
You disobeyed my orders. Well?
It was the right decision.
Respectfully, Captain, I made the right choice given the
You
information I had.
disobeyed my orders! And not just in front of the bridge crew, but the starbase staff as well. That's going to get around. My name's already tarnished around the fleet. But what is it going to do to my credibility on this ship? From the top to the bottom. Bridge to lower decks.
Say you're right. Just agree with him.
Be honest. But I also owe you more respect as captain of this ship. And I'll do better, living up to that.
I expect as much from you. You might have won some fans on the bridge with that stunt.
Just de-escalate the situation, yeah.
Lieutenant Commander
It was our fault.
Sherlock has already bent my ear.
I'm sure he doesn't take it personally. He'll get over it in time.
Mr. Chovak is more complicated than he would want to admit. I guess we all are. And, if I'm being honest, I'm not sure what I would have done in the moment either. You never really know if you weren't in those shoes. So, let's just boil it down.
Thank you, Shanzonian. I won't let you
Did
down.
what you had to. That'll have to be good enough
Say
for
thank
me.
Thank you for understanding, sir. I'm sure no one knows the burden of command as well as you do.
I'm sure you will someday.
Obviously, he's going to either die or you're going to take over the
Got
ship.
Final Starfleet clearance to depart. So if you'll fetch Mr. Hermot, we'll knock out the final details of any outstanding repairs, and then we'll set out for Hotari.
Yes, sir.
Good job, everyone.
All departments reporting full mission readiness. We've got our full complement on board.
This is my favorite moment, right now.
The start of a new mission is always full of possibility.
The Orion Syndicate could sell it as a drug.
Don't let the Admiralty hear you say that.
Captain on the bridge.
Sit. Sit, everyone.
You've obviously got to take the captain's chair at some point. Well, obviously, you already have, but that's not the point.
Not big on speeches. We're embarking on the first mission since our refit. Let's make it a good one. Disengage docking clamps.
Docking clamps released.
Thrusters ahead, Mr. Handar.
And we're off. Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the USS. Oh God, what's the name of this ship again? Of the Starship Reliant or something? Let's just call it Reliant for now. Resolute. These are the voyages of the Starship Resolute. I can't remember the rest of it. To go boldly where no man has gone before. Obviously they have been before because we know where we're going, but you get the point.
Do it. Set a course for the Hotari system. Prepare to go to Warp 8.
Aye, Captain.
You know what? You take this one.
Engage! Do it. Make way. Let's go. Classic.
Engage.
Old school. None of that punch it crap. Off we go. Star Trek Bridge Commander was a really good game. I enjoyed that.
But effective.
Yeah, sit down. Take your seat.
Easy. Thank you. I'm fine. Really,
You don't look so good.
Fuck's sake, we've only just become captain. We've only just got here.
I have to get to sickbay.
Go.
God, you couldn't have done that before.
Commander, help me get her inside.
Oh, God. You need to keep on top of your addictions, love. Surely you've got an injection somewhere. You must be like a diabetic with an injection. Ridiculous. You only just got here. That man, that science officer was right.
Well, that was quite a scare. A few minutes more and it would have been one of the shortest tenures on record for a first officer.
Is that the engineer that was out on the hull?
That storm did a real number on him, but he'll live. Just needs rest. You should worry about yourself. Your deridium levels got dangerously low and destabilized your cell structure.
This is definitely one of the more memorable first days I can think of.
My name is Dr. Aram Duval, Chief Medical Officer. To be honest, I've never met a Kobliad before. You're...
Rare. I know.
I was going to say special. Your people's numbers have dwindled, despite the Federation's efforts to find a more readily available alternative to the Duridium you need to survive. Yet you joined Starfleet and managed to thrive. I imagine the responsibility must be overwhelming.
I'm gonna say, I'm sure you've
Maybe
mastered
even
this
a burden
Duridium
at
thing by
times.
now. It's who I am.
I know what it means, and I know the responsibility that comes with it. But I can't be anything more than who I am. And if someone has a problem with that, or expects something else, then that's their problem, not mine.
That's exactly right. And don't worry, I won't treat you like a science experiment. I just do the science and leave the experiments to Solano.
You don't agree with his methods?
I don't agree with his definition of acceptable risks. Not when the lives of your crew are at stake. My professional
that's your-
opinion is that the accident took a toll. More than he's willing to admit. He's
Yeah, but that's your
overstressed,
role as
operating in the
commander.
pressure cooker of his own mind. Which is never a good headspace when the lives of your crew are at stake. What concerns me is that now he's even further away from the thing he's been chasing his entire career. Breakthrough discovery. The major
I won't let that
innovation.
happen. No risk. I want to say I won't let that
Something
happen.
to put his name on. The more the time passes and the further out of reach it gets, the more risk he'll be willing to take. People become blinded by their own ambition.
I thought he learned his lesson.
I think after what happened, Captain Solano's learned his lesson. And whatever ambition he once had is on hold for a while.
He may say that, but we'll see what happens.
I think you just talk about that way about your
What
captain.
happened on the bridge. It took guts to defy a direct order.
I guess word travels fast around here.
It's a small ship, and everyone's curious about the new XO. Fortunately, your cell structure's almost completely stabilized. And I'll spare us both the lecture, but I do feel it's my responsibility to remind you, without regular infusions of Duridium, you will not live. It's as simple as that.
Simple as that.
Understood.
And my work here is done.
Basically, she's like a diabetic, isn't she? She needs sugary,
Lieutenant Bedrosian.
I came to see if you were okay. We were all pretty worried on the bridge. No one knew what was happening.
I'm feeling much better. Thank you. It's just part of who I am.
You don't have to explain to me. I understand. I'm just glad you're okay. You trusted me earlier with the shields, and I appreciated that. I want you to know that I have your back.
Thank you.
I can sense a mutiny here.
Now, Carter, the emissions that gave you that burn are quite unusual, like everything else that goes with this storm. That's a combination of hyronolin and lectrazine to counter the radiation effects. That should help speed your healing. She's come by a couple
Oh.
of times to see you already. Be brief.
It's good to see you awake again. I was starting to get worried. Not that you aren't in good hands with Dr.
Can't get rid of me.
You did take one hell of a shot, though.
Oh, let's do some flirting.
Can't get rid of me that easy.
Don't push me, Diaz. You do not want to see me try.
No, nope. I am not getting on your bad side.
I am a formidable enemy. Millie was looking in on you too, by the way. But since it's just us right now, I had a chance to think about this while I was away. And I thought it was important that I just come out and tell you. Instead of tiptoeing around it.
Now, this is just a guess, but you like me. Is that what this is?
How'd you know? Must have been pretty obvious. Which is funny because kind of came out of nowhere for me at first.
I'm just a really good guesser. Any of my teachers growing up would have told you that.
So, you figured it out. And I'll just cut to the chase. We've been really good friends for a long time. I want to see if there's more
Let's
between
get
us
something!
than just being friends.
Let's go for the...
You don't have to explain it. I feel the same way. There is something between us.
So, do you want to find out what that something is? If it's there for you,
We're in sick bay.
and it's there for me, why not?
Just say
give it a
absolutely.
try?
Give it
Are
a try.
you kidding me? I just said yes.
I wanted to be sure I heard that right.
Sorry to interrupt, but the patient needs.
What has she just said? Hold on, go back. Miranda was thrilled to learn that Carter's feelings for her tend towards romantic as she looks forward. Hope ends a lot. I don't do that nonsense now. Yeah, they're friends. Why are they all petty officers? I thought it's because they're lower deck crew, aren't they?
Of course. I'll see you again soon.
Oh, let's get some Ractagino. That's a euphemism, if you know what I mean. You obviously came back from your other transfer back for him. Yeah, she's a Cardassian spy. Cast adrift. Act 1 departure. Complete Act 1.
Helm, bring us out of warp.
Dropping to impulse.
Ionic interference surging, Captain. Shield integrity holding.
We can take it.
We are at the correct coordinates to meet the shuttle.
Commander Rydek, find us our diplomat, if you will.
Aye, Captain. Let's reduce the noise. Filter out environmental signals. I can manually tune what's left for Federation signal types. I've located the shuttle.
Opening comms.
On screen.
Oh.
Shuttle to Resolute. Shuttle to Resolute. Debris field. Lost maneuvering. Losing.
That said Excelsior.
Get it any clearer. We won't get a
Tractor beam.
transponder lock. It's just not happening.
Power up the tractor beam. We'll pull them directly into the docking bay.
Diaz, you good to run the tractor emitter?
Yes, sir.
Oh, he's an ensign, and he so he outranks him.
I'm sure.
Soldier Excelsior.
Come on, Diaz. First thing, lock onto the shuttle and stabilize the rotation.
And tractor beam's cool like that. What, you got an asteroid in the way?
We're pulling in debris.
I'm on it.
Use a tractor beam to deflect the asteroids. I wonder if it's going to be like Ambassador Spock in it. That's a big pussy asteroid, isn't it?
Gonna take out the shuttle. There's the bridge. There's a large piece of debris headed for the shuttle. The tractor beam can't handle it.
Can our shields take it?
I believe so.
Commander Rydek, plot an intercept course.
On it.
Here we go. Maneuvering thrusters bearing 53 Mark 17. 200 meters on an intercept course.
Maneuvering.
Wouldn't that be the pilot's job?
Got it.
Whoa! Someone's working hard on the bridge.
Tractor beam. If anyone's wondering how they did that, it's multiple tractor beam emitters. not just the one.
We got the shuttlecraft on board.
Good job. We're on our way down to meet them.
Told ya! I told ya!
So to speak.
Ambassador Spock.
Ambassador Spock? The captain will be right down to meet you, sir.
In that case, I will wait for him here.
Apologies for the landing, Ambassador. I was operating the tractor beam, sir. I take responsibility.
It was not the smoothest transit, but you got us here safely. That is what matters. We thought we were prepared for our arrival in Hotari space, but it is evident my craft was not sufficiently robust for such intense ionic activity.
The storm has been pretty intense.
There was an element that was most unusual. Before you came to our aid, our maneuvering thrusters and impulse engines were rendered inoperable. So we attempted a short traversal at warp speed, only to find that we could not achieve warp at all, even though our diagnostics computer showed no faults or anomalies. What do you make of that? When all indications say that warp speed is possible, but in practice, we find it is not.
That's a storm.
This storm is one of the strangest phenomena we've ever encountered. It's disrupted other systems. Who knows what it might do to a warp drive?
Yes, it would seem further investigation is called for.
Take readings, run some additional diagnostic checks, and we'll get to the bottom of this.
Quite logical, Petty Officer...
Carter Diaz. Sir.
Thank you.
Ambassador Spock,
Excuse me.
I'm honored to have you aboard. I'd like to get right to it. We're already behind.
A provocation to war.
Ambassador Spock, my senior staff.
Spock ain't got time for your
It's not every
bullshit.
day that a captain gets to welcome a Starfleet legend aboard.
You flatter me, Captain Solano. But legend implies the past tense, whereas I am very much focused on our present circumstances.
I didn't mean to suggest you were stuck in the past.
Stop that for you.
You're right, Ambassador. Not the most diplomatic choice of words.
Let's focus on the future.
We're all curious about the future, Ambassador. Specifically, what exactly are we getting involved in here?
We got the basics from Starfleet. Two formerly peaceful neighbors are now on the brink of war.
Indeed, and the tension between them grows fiercer by the hour. Lydia and Hotari. The Lydians are the more advanced species. They made first contact with the Hotari over a century ago. This is Tau, the Hotari moon. It is rich in dilithium, and for decades, the Hotari and the Illydians have shared a mining operation there. The Illydians provide the technological resources, while the Hotari have served as the labor force. The stability of that arrangement was the source of their peace, until recently. The Hotari have suddenly and forcefully seized control of the mining operations and expelled the Illydians from their system. That is the official story, as told by the Hotari when they requested Federation mediation. But the details remain scant. Communications between all parties have been limited by the ionic interference.
Have the Illidians retaliated against the Hotari? Or taken any action against them?
Surprisingly, they have not yet responded in kind. They were open to a Federation presence, but it is unlikely the relatively primitive Hotari forces would stand a chance against the Illidian fleet in open war. Left unchecked, this conflict will result in more bloodshed, which is what we are here to prevent.
And the dilithium trade hangs in the balance.
Clearly the Hotari have been exploited in this relationship.
Maybe we can persuade them peace is the more profitable alternative for everyone. They both profited from the mines. And for the Hotari, something is better than nothing. Peace is our objective after all.
If we could convince them, it would restore the peace. But we would need the Hotari to accept a difficult compromise.
Made all the more difficult by the emotions flaring on both sides, no doubt.
Neither the Illidians or the Hotari are members of the Federation, so we can't make them do anything.
There is an additional complicating factor I should mention. In the past, the Federation has relied on the Illidians as a source of dilithium.
That certainly changes things.
The Federation sources its dilithium from a lot of places.
Yeah, and this is one of them.
This gives us leverage. Let's go. Let's go leverage.
Use that as leverage with the Illidians. They'll want the Federation to continue buying from them.
There might be something to that, Commander.
Putting that on the table could make the Hotari more hostile.
Given the Federation's involvement in the Illidium dilithium trade, Captain Solano and I must make every effort to appear neutral in these negotiations.
What worries me is if this whole thing unravels and we're at the mercy of the storm at less than full strength.
We can't let it come to that.
Considering what the Ion Storm has done to our ship, and the Ambassador's shuttle, we have to assume the Illidian fleet has had problems with it as well. This recent surge in the energy disturbance temporarily levels the playing field.
Commander Westbrook is correct. The energy anomalies around the Hotari systems have been noted in the past.
If it's keeping the two sides talking instead of shooting at each other, that actually helps us negotiate a peace.
And we'll take advantage of that as long as it works in our favor.
And when it doesn't?
All the more reason to learn as much about it as we can while we are here.
Put our ship in the middle.
Unprepared, should the energy anomaly continue to fluctuate.
The Illidians went far, boss, and the Hotari are, you know,
We're operating on a strict timetable here, and we're going to be leaving for the negotiations.
ain't gonna really damage our Federation starship.
I want you to leverage our systems to investigate the anomaly from here while we're gone.
Aye, Captain.
Thank you all.
Dismissed.
I want to speak to both of you privately.
Ambassador Spock, I'd like to make a formal introduction.
I don't know what's Spock saying. What's Spock saying about us, though? Well, that's what Spock's saying about us. I just want us to show support the Captain and her distinct perspective on the damage of conflict during the briefing.
First Officer, Commander Jara Rydek.
Commander, as you are aware, there are limits to what Captain Solano and I can do in our official capacity as representatives of the Federation. But someone in an unofficial capacity, your first officer, for example, would not be bound by those restrictions. Commander Rydek could ingratiate herself to certain parties behind the scenes, where they may be more candid in revealing information that could lead to a resolution.
Spy mission.
How to say the right things, at least when she wants to. It would be unconventional.
I'm perfectly happy to work outside the lines.
And by extension, you will be doing your duty, Commander.
Just not too far outside the lines. Well, I hope Commander Rydek...
Hold on, see what Spock's saying. That's just what also notes just positive after. Yeah, we have to do what we have to do to get this mission done.
The fate of the negotiations.
It's a shame that we've got to Be a spy? We've only just got here.
Respect for peace may very well depend on it.
Mr. Diaz, I understand you have already discussed the warp drive failure with Ambassador Spock?
I have.
It is imperative that the Ambassador's shuttle be flight ready. I need you both to ascertain the root cause of the system failures he encountered.
I'm surprised, Commander. I thought you would have wanted to work on Ambassador Spock's shuttle yourself.
I respect the Ambassador and his many accomplishments, but I do not derive any satisfaction from interacting with his shuttle as if it were somehow transubstantiated through its association with him. Especially when I have the entirety of this starship to concern myself with. I am not the chief engineer of this shuttlecraft.
The Ambassador asked me to take a look, and I'm ready to crack this thing open.
Good. You could learn from Mr. Diaz's focus.
I'll take notes.
Then I will leave you to it. Make note of any abnormalities in your report. Carry on.
It's going to happen anyway, won't it?
It seems like he's warming up to us.
What's all done? Let's check what he said. Carter's eagerness to work with Ambassador Spock.
Yeah.
Even Chobok has to look at that face and know you've earned some real respect. And I have to admit that I owe you one. You were right to make me
Didn't
go
owe me
first.
one.
I don't know what I was thinking.
You've pulled me out of trouble how many times? Call it even.
Okay. At the very least, maybe I can track down that bottle of Saurian brandy you're still on the hook for. But first, we have work to do.
Yeah, what doesn't understand for anyone what she said now. I'm gonna be like a geek doing this now. Someone's reminded how much she values her friendship with Carter, and he said he doesn't owe her anything. We'll let him. I'm gonna say you're compatriots,
All set.
comrades in arms. Look at my finger.
So, I know about your talk with Miranda.
You do?
She sent me a Priority 1 dispatch right after your conversation. I'm happy for you. Both of you.
Thanks.
But I'm only going to tell you this once. Don't screw this up. Because I would be very unhappy if you tried this out and then, I don't know, 6 weeks or 6 days later, I have to start splitting holidays between the two of you. All because things went south and you're not on speaking terms.
So have some faith.
It's gonna work for me.
You really don't believe in me, huh?
It's not you. Or her. Just running the numbers, and things don't work out more often than they do. I like my friends, and I like our group. I don't want to lose that. Is that thing done?
Yeah, it's wrapping up.
Have some faith.
The relays along the primary EPS are blown. The backup relays are all intact.
An EPS overload from the warp drive could cause that. But how did the shuttle end up dead in the...
Well, maybe the ship's data recorder can tell us something. Here.
They were only about 8 minutes from their plotted warp point. No faults, just those warnings. What are they?
Subspace variance out of tolerance. What does that mean?
It means the main navigation array lost sight of space somehow.
Will the array going offline cause that?
Yes, but it should have also thrown a fault code.
Apologies, I'm back now. The mic's going a bit dodge.
The warp field became inverted suddenly.
I've seen this happen when the center warp coil cracks.
A cracked warp coil throws a fault code.
Still, we should take a look.
Cascade failure.
Complete warp cascade failure.
Wow. They're lucky the shuttle didn't turn inside out.
Makes me think the computer panicked on the warp field equation.
Any one of these failures should have thrown a fault.
If it was caused by a system failure.
None of this caused the relays to blow. Roll forward to when that happened.
Yes, ma'am.
So here, they take a moment to get their bearings and they attempt to re-engage the warp drive.
There. That's the relays blowing.
And look, there's another warp system alert.
God, wouldn't it be...
They're all the same. Subspace variants out of tolerance, or warp inversions. Finally, there's a complete warp cascade failure.
Then it's one of two things. Either a warp coil is cracked, or the navigation array is offline.
That makes sense.
Divide and conquer. You want to check the warp coils or the navigation array? I'll check the other. Let's not overcomplicate this.
I'll check the navigation array.
I'll check the navigation array.
The Grayson. Your tricorder can record and analyze data. Looking through will reveal unseen. Press X to equip your tricorder or holster it. Press R to scan. You must be close to some objects to scan, then watch the frame of your screen to see if they're too far away. Anomaly time. Some objects will scan and activate a deep scan. During deep scan, left and right must switch between different scan modes to search for the glowing objects. The mode indicators on the tricorder will blink if there's an object. When you've scanned all objects in the frame, it will change colour. Hold left trigger to analyse the scan. Shuttle sensors are vulnerable to backup interference. I should say it's functioning normally.
Navigation array checks out, so it must be a coil.
Except it's not. Checked and double-checked.
Well, the readings don't lie.
Here comes the security detail for the way team.
Hey.
I'm not here.
We're escorting the negotiating team to the surface as soon as they come down from the bridge. I don't want to interrupt some important work. I was just hoping to see you before I go. The captain and the others will be here any minute now. Should be an interesting ride down to the surface.
You're the one with the important job to do. Keeping the captain safe. And Ambassador Spock.
It doesn't always feel that way. Baking in the hot sun, standing guard next to an empty shuttlecraft. But it has its moments.
Hey, Maris. Aren't these those button pushers you're always hanging out with?
And you're the phaser jockeys we always beat in Parisi squares, right?
All aboard for Hotari.
That another one of the captain's railroad things?
Gotta be. I just usually zone out by the time he gets to the whole, steam engines were the warp drives of their day part. Get y'all later.
You don't want to miss your train.
I do have to go. Not gonna lie, I'd rather not leave right now. More
You don't kiss her. You're on fucking.
Go on. Do your job. I'll be right here waiting for you when you get back.
You better be.
As I say, you've got etiquette and protocol. This isn't no Discovery shit. Where everyone's crying every 2 minutes. You're a well-oiled fucking naval force. What she said. Miranda loved Carter's romantic side when they were saying goodbye in a docking bay. You're Starfleet officers. You know, young teenagers messing about kids.
If you could float back down to reality, we still have a ways to go. All right, where were we?
So, the warp coils in the navigation array are fine, but the nav computer doesn't...
Got a good scar on him now,
Out
hasn't
of ideas short of field stripping the shuttle from bow to stern.
You wanna take this out of the shuttle and throw it on the bench?
Oh, real hands-on maintenance. I like it. Okay, the nav computer is patched into the ship.
The ship's computer can double-check our work. If the shuttle's nav computer is putting out false data, we'll know it.
Let's run through the shuttle's logs again.
Running now. Same. Warp field inversion and a cascade failure. However, the Resolute computer doesn't show the same subspace variance.
We're in the same conditions that the shuttle was in when it failed. Why wouldn't the ship's computer get a matching result?
What if
They not got the warp core zone.
That's a possibility, and it would explain why the simulation under our current sensor readings failed to...
But a subspace anomaly strong enough to cause a warp field collapse would leave graviton ripples for days.
Let's run with the momentary subspace variance theory for now. Roll forward to the shuttle's attempt to re-engage the warp drive. We need the conditions of space around the shuttle at the moment of warp failure.
Resuming simulation.
Error in warp field calculation. Cochrane formula variables are out of range.
That right there. Take the shuttle sensor data from that moment.
Computer, why did the warp field calculation fail?
Warp field pressure returned non-orthogonal. Results are undefined.
That doesn't help.
Wait, what if we use a different ship?
The Resolute into the simulation and...
Yeah, it should warp just fine. Unless... Computer, run the simulation with the Resolute.
Resolute simulated.
Computer, give me manual control on the warp power.
Static field intensity, warp 1.1. 1.2. 3. Warp pressure is destabilizing. Error in warp field calculation. The warp drive has experienced a system-wide cascade failure. Warp field collapsed. Subspace variance is out of tolerance. Cochrane formula results are undefined.
Bingo.
What-o?
The same moment when the shuttle failed to warp, so did the ship. Whatever happened to the shuttle just happened to us. The Resolute will not sustain warp.
We can't leave Hotari space.
Gotta contact the away team and let them know. Look at that ship.
Ambassador Spock, Captain Solano, welcome to Hotari. We are honored you have come. My name is Tyler Saltaris, Minister of Diplomatic Affairs.
The honor is ours, and this is Commander Jara Rydick, first officer aboard the USS Resolute. You'll find she has a keen mind, and unique insight into the dynamics between the Hotari and the Illidians.
We are honored to be here, as representatives of the Federation.
I'm so glad.
These must be the representatives of the mighty Federation, the reigning authority in the galaxy. Or so we've been led to
Oh, it's
believe.
that guy again.
Whether that's true or
Same
not
Canadian
remains to
actor.
be seen. But either way, we're grateful you've made the time to come to our little corner of the universe.
And you are?
This is Galvin, and this is Citron, the heroes of the revolt in the mines.
Let's hope this is the last time we ever have to come here.
If you'll excuse me.
I think we're about to begin.
Did you hear the arrogance from that guy? I don't know what we're walking into here, but that guy was something.
That may be true. But let's keep an open mind going into the negotiations. Hopefully he's just one voice amongst many.
Then let's hope he's the outlier.
The Hotari have invited us as their guests, so we must show them the proper respect.
Yeah, Captain Solano. Yeah, let's bow. Show strength. Show deference. You had a deference, strength, and deference.
Ambassador Spock, welcome to Holtari Prime.
The honor is mine, Your Majesty.
That the Federation would send one of their most respected representatives is not only an honor to the Hotari people and their queen, but a recognition of our stature and importance.
Let's get on with it, shall we? With all due respect to the Federation and their ambassador, they have no authority here. We are not members of their alliance. We are not subject to their rule, nor yours. We demand the immediate return of all mining operations to Elydian control, as it has been for centuries and will be for centuries more. That has always been our understanding.
That understanding has changed.
Then you invite war.
And if you cannot remain silent, you will be silenced. But his point is well taken. What is the Federation's interest in this matter? Perhaps you would have us trade one oppressor for another?
The Federation remains neutral. Our only interest is the peaceful resolution of this conflict. We are here at your request, Your Majesty.
For now.
I'm trying to keep an open mind here, but it's not easy. I thought they wanted us here.
Not now. We're not liked.
Was there something you wanted to say, Captain?
Oh, no. My apologies.
And what about the Kobliard?
She's not
She
part
can
of...
speak for herself, can't she? Then let her.
Well, they know what Kobe. Okay, now walk up there. You could have just said it from down there.
Now then, what is your name?
Commander Jara Rydek, Your Majesty.
Being a Kobliard, you would know better than anyone. Your people suffered brutal treatment at the hands of the Cardassians. Their injustice towards the Kobliard is as unimaginable as it is unforgivable. Not unlike how we have been treated by the Elydians.
As much as they'd have you believe they are the victims here, remember it was the Hotari who attacked us. Hundreds of innocent Elydians were slaughtered without mercy in those mines.
The blood is on their hands, not ours.
Quiet! If after all the Kobliards suffered, you finally had the chance to right that wrong, to get out from under their control, would you take it? Or would you negotiate a peace?
I would right the wrong. I would seek peace. I'd say I'd seek peace.
There is no remedy for what the Kobliad suffered, and I fear who we might have become in pursuit of it. There is no justice if the oppressed become the oppressor. So I would willingly accept a peaceful resolution if it were offered. That is the real opportunity.
Perhaps, Commander Rydak. Perhaps. Unfortunately, that was not the case, was it?
No, it was not.
Peace is often elusive to those who need it most. The Federation is the most powerful, most advanced alliance in the galaxy. It's widely known we have an abundance of dilithium in our mines. And it's in your interest to secure a steady supply.
Your Majesty, if I may.
Ambassador Spock would have us believe you're here as a neutral party in the interest of peace. So why are you really here? I want the truth, not your Federation rhetoric.
It's possible the Federation has an interest in both peace and securing a steady source of dilithium. One does not preclude or prevent the other. But that's just my personal opinion.
Given the Federation has done business with the Elidians for decades, I would agree. It's entirely possible, if not highly likely.
What they haven't said, but cannot deny, is a simple truth. The dilithium trade would not and will...
Oh, they don't like me now. I thought Jared performed well under pressure, or should have been from the Atari Queen. Can't decide that Jared handled the complex situation as well as she could be expected, but to put her on the spot.
Will no longer exist without a Lydian involvement. We created it for the benefit of everyone, especially the Hotari. We've given them warp technology. We've let them share in the profits. We've made their lives infinitely better than before dilithium was discovered. All of that goes away if the Federation turns a blind eye to their treachery.
That is enough of your lies! The Hotari are quite capable of running the mines. We've done so for centuries. So tell me, who deserves control of the dilithium trade and the mines on Tau?
Oh my god.
Should the Federation recognize? The Hotari or the Elidians?
Well, the Atari own the mines. Oh god.
One or the other, not both.
Gonna have to be the
If
Hotari.
I have to choose only one, then it would have to be the Hotari.
Well said. How could the just and wise Federation make any other choice?
This is an outrage. The Federation has lost all credibility.
The mines are ours. Lydia will not be deterred. We will take back our mines by any means necessary.
Then you will see more blood spilled.
I am more than willing to address your concerns, Your Majesty. Yours as well, Representative. But I suggest we could have a more productive conversation with a smaller group. Perhaps only the most essential representatives.
I suppose there is some sense to that.
Oh, we need the Atari because we need the lithium. It's not the Elidians' mine. It's not the Elidians' mine, even though they are the most superior.
I hope we meet again, Jara Ryder.
No, she was put on the spot, weren't she? Fucking hell. It's not like she was given much of a choice. I thought I was supposed to be scoping things out.
Spock and I will cover everything on the diplomatic front. You make nice with the locals and see if you can get some answers. We need to find out why the Hotari are so willing to risk war. What happened in those mines?
What time are we on? I think we'll leave it there now. Thank you for joining me on Star Trek. Was it Resurgence? If you're on Twitch, thank you for taking time out today. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe. And I hope to see you all again soon. Thank you very much.